With all the focus on the New York City mayoral primary coming this Tuesday, and we've been doing it every night here, there are two other races we thought that you ought to know about, and they're scheduled for Tuesday as well, and they take place in Colorado.
Morse voted for more taxes, more government in our daily lives. Morse even proposed a gun control bill so radical that even most of his fellow Democrats wouldn't support it. John Morse, too extreme for Colorado. Recall Morse.
And that ad was paid for by the NRA in a race to recall the state Senate president. He and another state senator, they're facing a recall for one single reason. Doesn't have to do with the budget, doesn't have to do with any scandal or anything else. This has to do with four letters, G-U-N-S, after Newtown, Colorado. And I may remind you, it is the home of both the Aurora shooting and Columbine, of course. They pushed through gun reforms that pale in comparison, by the way, to what we see in our region. Both New York, Connecticut, talk about Jersey here, mandatory background checks and a ban on high-capacity magazines. That's all. A background check here, and not even the 7, what was it, that Cuomo did, or whatever, 7, the magazine clip. This was of a much more significant variety than that. So, because they voted for that in the aftermath of Newtown, the NRA is trying to recall them, and looks like they've got a decent chance to do it. The two state senators, they do have supporters, though, and they've hit back with ads of their own, and some of the anti-recall campaign was funded by none other than New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Now, these races are seen by many as litmus tests nationally here for gun control supporters. The thought is, if Bloomberg and others with a lot of money behind him can't protect lawmakers who, after Newtown, voted for basic background checks, well, then few other lawmakers anywhere in this country will have the courage to try and do the same and risk losing their elections. And Bill, to me, if you get recalled for this, and remember, Colorado isn't North Dakota. Colorado has gone Democrat the last 2 cycles here, right? At least in the presidential. That will have a chilling effect, I think.
I mean, I don't think any question. I mean, I've always understood that gun control in Colorado was to use both hands. I mean, that's a gun state. I mean, no question about it.
He's been sitting on that line all day. Yeah.
But I mean, first of all, on the recalls, I just wish we get rid of recalls.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. We have a recall election every 2 years and take it. But you know, while it's out there, I don't know that Mayor Bloomberg helped the cause very much by putting his name out of there. He needs to move money more quietly. He needs to find a way to fund.
How's he going to do that? He's you know, it's his group, it's his organization.
Easily, you can set up some organization.
But he's not campaigning. He's not cutting ads himself. Hi, Michael Bloomberg.
But he makes it clear, Andrew, this is Bloomberg's act.
He wanted his stamp on it, and I'm not sure that helps the effort very much.
No, come on, we all know what it is. They're going to make the point, oh, you want some New York City billionaire here telling you what to do with your guns? It's an easy soundbite, I think, to carry forward. But I'm telling you, I misread this thing from jump. I thought after Newtown we would have a sea change in this country of some practical stuff. I didn't ever thought there'd be anything radical or anything, or banning assault weapons, right? I didn't think that would happen, even though the poll number said. But background checks, Dominic. I mean, 90+% of the public. When can you find 90% of Americans agreeing on anything? Said they support this, and 3/4 of the NRA,
Richard,
and they still can't.
I've said this before. It doesn't matter what the polls show or what Americans want. When it comes to guns, the NRA is calling the shots. And if you dare challenge them, they will take you on and make sure you lose your job. It has a chilling effect, and that is what this is all about in Colorado.
By the way, I'm not sure that the recall is going to work this Tuesday on both of the state senators. Not only has it gone
but it's already worked, Andrew, because if you're one of those lawmakers, I'm sure the congressman can attest to this, you're scared to death that your job is on the line, so it's already worked.
Well, but I'm not so sure. If these two guys stay in office, then I think that gives them some leeway to continue with other gun control.
I've been following. Was now a Connecticut resident. There's even a congressional race in Connecticut.
Nobody's going to want to go through what those two senators went through.
And I've noticed state lawmakers in Connecticut, and there could be an open house seat. Gun control is one of the issues already being discussed about their positions on gun control. And I would have thought if any state would have been like, listen, if you support gun control, you're going to get a pass here. It would be Connecticut post-Newtown. Yeah, and that one is even debatable.
Feel the pain of that. You've got a wonderful candidate in John McKinney. He represents Newtown, and the NRA would not give him a pass on something like this. You know, I mean, how does he look at the parents and say, you know what, I'm not for the bill?
Yeah.
You know, their children were just massacred, and.
But the NRA is still very influential in Connecticut. It's not like Newtown.
He's agreeing with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm agreeing, but particularly influential in Republican primaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a manufacturing state.
Yeah.
And you thought, I thought,
Maybe
my
not
2
for
cents
long.
out of decency, they would have let those lawmakers at least make the position with how raw the situation is. But even there, it's going to come up in the primaries. All right, when we come back, talked about this in a commercial break last night. Whoever succeeds, Mayor Bloomberg, many people will say, well, good, we'll finally move past this. I make a prediction that people are going to miss this current mayor for reasons you may not think about very shortly. We'll talk about that after this.